But what that woman is articulating is a common misunderstanding of how desire works. Child sex dolls for pedos are repulsive and intrinsically evil. It is intrinsically evil for the pedos to do to the child sex dolls whatever they're going to do. Even if this woman wants to make some consequentialist argument that actually it will reduce predation on actual children if the pedos get to it's just still intrinsically disgusting and evil for the pedos to do whatever they're going to do to the child sex dolls. But this is how many people think of desire. Probably this is how most people think of desire these days, because we live in the wake of Sigmund Freud, and we live at a time when we are told that if you have any desire whatsoever, it's going to build up inside you like a steam engine. And that's why every so often, if you don't want to go crazy and explode, you got to just blow off a little steam. That's what she's saying. She's saying these pedos, they're born this way. There's nothing they can do about their desires. And it's building up. And so they got to blow off a little steam. And better they blow off the steam with the doll than with an actual child. The problem is that's not how desire works at all. That idea, which is associated with and comes from Freud, develops because of the technology of the time. Very often, we map our understanding of human nature and the human psyche onto the technology at the time. So today, we talk about the brain like it's a computer, because the computer is the chief technology of our time. So we talk about uploading our consciousness. We talk about downloading information. We talk about how we just got to process information faster, just like a computer. But 100 years ago, 130, 40 years ago, the chief technology was the steam engine. And so we talk about how you've just got these desires building up in your mind, and you got to just blow off a little steam or else you're liable to explode. But it isn't true. Actually, the ancients were much wiser than Freud and the modern people, and our civilization, as it had always understood desire, was much more correct than the people over the last 100 or so years. Desire is a matter of habit. Maybe people are born with certain inclinations. I'm not denying that. I mean, even for the pedos, I don't know, maybe probably something just went terribly wrong in their lives. And there are huge associations with kids who were abused, later developing these kinds of extremely disordered desires. But I don't know, maybe let's just take this woman at her word and say there's some kind of innate inclination here or something like that. Even if that were the case, desire either deepens or begins to turn as a matter of habit. So the more you indulge a disordered desire, a perverse desire, the more disordered, the more perverse, the more intense it's going to become. And the less you indulge it, and the more you cultivate other desires, the more virtuous and orderly your desire is going to become. It's like habits. It's not like a steam engine. It's more like a fire. Okay, if you feed the fire, if you keep throwing wood into the fire is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like a wolf. Or so, you feed the wolf is going to get used to that food. The wolf is going to get hungrier and bigger and stronger, whatever cliche metaphor you want for this. Desire is habit, and desires actually can change. You're not allowed to say that anymore because the libs call that conversion therapy. Or so. It's kind of funny. They say you can't ever change your sexual desires in any way, but you can change your sex. You can go from being a boy to a girl, but you can't go from being a kind of a pervy guy to a less pervy guy. That's impossible. But of course our desires do change, even beyond sex stuff. Our desires for food. If you eat a lot of sweets, you're going to want to eat a lot more sweets. If you give up sweets for a month or two, you're probably not going to be as desirous of sweets anymore. Maybe you'll eat some healthier foods. This is true of habits. It's true of exercise. It's true of work ethic. It's true of everything. That's just true of human nature. The more we stick with this steam engine kind of view of human nature, the more pervy the country's going to get. We're going to get a country of people living under Senator Karen Berg who are doing weirder and weirder things for sex dolls. And eventually the dolls aren't going to do it because there's no substitute for the real thing.